Hi, this is Kurt Yelly, and I wanted to bring you a little training webinar here, how to increase referrals, sales, and retention by 60% using this old school marketing strategy or old school way. You know what it's like nowadays. You have to fight tooth and nail for every home care referral, even if your home care service is the best of the best. Just getting your name out there can be an endless battle. So how do you cut through the noise of your home care competition in today's crowded home care world? Especially here in the Chicagoland area, we have lots of competition. Over 400 agencies just in the Chicago region itself. What you do is you get offline. Your prospects have, the boomers and especially the seniors have, well, maybe not the seniors, have too full of inboxes. Social media feeds overrun with products and services. There are more digital ads than you can ever pay attention, and it's too easy to get lost in the shuffle. So I recommend something different, something old school. Are we not in the old school business? And what you want to look at is it's a marketing success triangle. You need to have the right message to the right market using the right media. And what this webinar is all about is using the right media. And what is that media? It's direct mail. For me, direct mail is king. There's a book that I recommend reading it, The Direct Mail Solution. It goes really into depth about how to use direct mail, but it is in my library by Craig Simpson. That's also got some chapters by direct response marketing guru Dan Kennedy. And if you think direct mail is just about junk mail, you're missing out on a huge opportunity. Like I mentioned earlier, I've been using direct mail now for over 10 years. I do have my website too. I've only looked at my website as a way to, it's my instant brochure. If somebody asks, hey, can I get some more information? I send them to them. I don't worry about optimizing it or anything like that. I mainly have it there as an educational tool that if I'm talking to somebody over the phone, then I can direct them to my website if they want more information. And I do have a frequently asked questions tab on there. That's the main part that I recommend is if they're learning about home care, how can they learn more about it? So I do have my website, but I have yet to find something as simple, consistent, and as reliable as direct mail. Online media changes every week. That's why these people can charge you huge money for Facebook ads and online stuff, is because the Google and Facebook, they all change their algorithms, or even LinkedIn changes something so that you have to learn something new. And if you don't learn that something new, you're basically non-existent because nobody will find you. And it's interesting. My CPA, basically asks me yearly, what have you done this year to generate more revenue? So why have my numbers, continued to grow actually since 2007? And she always asks me. And I basically just say, I use direct mail. And it's normal to be skeptical. That's why I wanted to do this webinars, because I want to convince you and persuade you of why direct mail is great. And it's, but the proof already exists. And because I know you can be very hesitant to use direct mail because basically you're probably not doing it correctly. And if direct mail wasn't one of the most effective marketing channels, large companies wouldn't use it. I'm not sure if you've gotten these, but I get them all the time. Even Google uses it. Now, they obviously have no problem getting customers, turning those customers into profit. But how do they do it? Well, Google is one of the largest technology mailers in the U.S. They send out little offers to use their Google AdWords service. This is where a large chunk of Google's revenue comes from, all thanks to direct mail. And I just made a photo here this is a piece that I just got the other day. It's from Amazon, promoting their Amazon business. And when you think about it, People that are, if you're online all day and you're not really going to search for this kind of stuff, so you got to go offline to generate the interest first. And the best way to do that is direct mail. And so here you've got Google that does it. Here you got Amazon that does it. And you'd think Amazon, which is a buying service, nobody would really need to do that. But we as businesses, aren't necessarily searching for stuff. Now Amazon sent me this little flyer and as a direct mail piece to alert me about a new service that I can be a part of. In fact, direct mail is a secret weapon for companies of all sizes and all niches. Dollar for dollar, nothing gets targeted with high return results like direct mail. And I could make a big, huge list here. AT&T uses direct mail, Comcast, Dish Network, Capital One, your American Express, all your credit cards. Colleges use it, LL Bean. Here's a catalog that, what companies have stopped using their catalogs and mailing catalogs. Here's from Vineyard Vines, which actually is a very millennial-based company. If you see kids, they're wearing the Vineyard Vines clothing around. But see, they're still using direct mail even to reach that group. And I've got an interesting comment from a millennial or a Generation Z person later in this webinar. So however, with direct mail, it has to be done correctly, because even if one thing goes wrong, such as poor design, weak copy, bad timing, your entire mailing can fail. So it is all a timing thing too. So the case for direct mail with our audience, and I found another article, Why Direct Mail Marketing by Scott Taylor of the Huffington Post. And he mentions with online consumers having attention span of around 8 seconds, yes, less than a goldfish, he says, the online landscape exploding into a fierce battle of brands and email marketing failing to hit targets for many businesses across the country, it may be time to consider bringing back direct mail marketing into the fold of your strategic marketing plan. And that's my whole unique angle of why to use my services and my mentoring is direct mail. So he gave us 5 reasons why direct mail is very much alive and kicking, and I totally agree with what he mentions. Direct mail allows creativity. I love this. I love being able to, create new marketing pieces using direct mail. Forget the postcard, catalog, or pamphlet. 2016 direct mail campaigns are all about getting creative and delivering something that your customers cannot resist. From British gas delivery brews to businesses across the country to businesses even using Game of Thrones to improve their campaigns. Direct mail allows for a wealth of tangible creativity that just doesn't exist online. Nice thing that also ties in with creativity, you want to enter the conversation that's already going on in somebody's mind, and you can use creativity. That's kind of what they're saying with Game of Thrones. If a lot of people are watching Game of Thrones, send them something that relates to Game of Thrones, and they'll pay attention just because of that. Direct mail is tangible. Is there a marketing method that offers a more tangible solution than direct mail? With the current generation bombarded with video ads, remarketing, and pay-per-click every time they even touch a screen, direct mail offers you the chance to get something real into the hands of your audience, creating a connection that just isn't the same with email or other online advertisements. I've always heard the saying, send your mother an e-card versus a regular card for her birthday. I'm pretty sure she will not feel the difference, or she will feel the difference if you send her the e-card. Plus, once the audience opens a direct mail piece, studies show they are far more likely to take the time to look over the offer than they would in comparison with email marketing. A guy from Bluefish.com said it really well. I mean, he sells very high-end experiences, and he uses direct mail himself. I like the way he put it. He says it only takes 1 finger to delete an email. It takes 10 fingers to open up direct mail. Direct mail takes personalization to a whole new level. While one part of marketing is your ability to communicate your message clearly, the other side is about building relationships with your customers. The key to building relationships is getting personal and showing that you both know and understand your customer. The results can be staggering. Studies successfully showed that using personalized direct mail as a part of a wider digital strategy can see response rates from a campaign hit over 20%. You won't find those numbers with online marketing. Direct mail is the brand awareness king. With an estimated 81% of brands using social media to build awareness around their brand, you cannot be blamed for looking further afield than a Facebook page for your brand building strategies. While direct mail is also a competitive discipline, there is less direct mail going out than ever before, and with nearly 80% of consumers saying they will open all their postal mail, including the so-called junk mail, you could almost be certain that your message will end up in the right eyes on it and less competition with it. I think that Scott Taylor's his 5 reasons are great here. Direct mail complements a digital strategy. Again, I'm not saying to not have a digital strategy, but direct mail is king for me. It is the foundation of my marketing plan. As he says, while some may find it super helpful to receive offers after they've abandoned a basket of others, will fail to receive those emails or just find it downright creepy. How did they get my email address? Well, I'm sure some people will feel the same after receiving a piece of direct mail. Studies have shown that direct mail sent within 24 hours of an abandoned online basket can have a conversion rate of over 40% and outperforms email by 16%. The results of multimedia marketing can be seriously impressive, and direct mail can play a pivotal role in reaching certain customers offline that refuse to be contacted online. And direct mail is open for all audiences. Here's a key statistic for us as home care marketers. 41% of people aged over 65 do not use the internet at all. For marketers, that's a huge segment that cannot be targeted using pay-per-click, email, or social media. Direct mail allows you to keep your offers open to all audiences rather than just the majority who fit your online strategy. So those are Scott Taylor's 5 reasons of why to use direct mail. Now I've got another resource for you, and I highly recommend this book. Very much applies to you as a home care agency owner. I recommend this book. Actually, Chip Kessler, the co-author of this, is a friend of mine, and actually helped me. I hired him as a business coach for myself. So it's the No BS Guide to Marketing to Leading Edge Boomers and Seniors. And I wanted to share with you some statistics out of this book. Marketers are understandably very, very eager to abandon offline media in favor of online media. These are excerpts from the book. Many marketers are also greatly influenced by young advertising and marketing agency leaders and gurus. Unfortunately, the actual experience of people on the ground most successfully selling to, he uses LEB as leading edge boomers and seniors, as well as the facts obtained from close examination of the results, commands us to stay focused on and to weight our marketing investments to offline media, which would be direct mail. 34% cited word of mouth, conversations with family, friends, or peers, out of which came a specific recommendation or proactive referral. That is the number one way to get referrals, is families, first of all, providing great service to your clients, which then will cause conversations by the family, friends, to reach out to and to recommend you. Nearly the same, 33% cited the firms that was talking about financial firms, offline media advertising and direct mail for its public educational seminars and workshops, prompting attendance as responsive. In other words, they were saying that the use of direct mail caused 33% response rate for attending the seminars and workshops. Significantly, no one cited any online media as the starting point of their move to a relationship with this financial firm, which can relate to us as home care agencies. Not 1, 0, and nada. And again, it goes on to say 0%. That would be overly extreme, of course, because some presence is essential for credibility if and when potential clients go online at some point. Now, again, there's what I use my website for. I do have a website so that if they go on, they want to check me out, check references and things like that. And there are things that can be done online to educate prospective clients during and after the sales process. Online workshop registration options can be offered, webinars promoted to unconverted leads, and so forth. And as I've mentioned earlier, I've always thought of my website as an instant brochure. Got this slide highlighted. because majority of seniors and many leading edge boomers have been driven to social media in order to stay in touch with their adult kids, grandkids, and distant friends. That's the only reason they go use it. Because I've been surprised lately that there are seniors that do have a Facebook account. However, they are resistant to having their data harvested and obviously used to direct advertising messages to them. And they do not go to the internet to find services and professional assistance. So if you are to successfully market to boomers and seniors, you must remain aware of and sensitive to their preferences for receiving information, for relationship communication, for advertising outreach. You must insist on what works. And according to this 2011 channel preference study produced by Epsilon Targeting, a leading target marketing research group considered along with the Boomer Senior Market Study, here are a few telling facts from that research. While newspapers and subscribed to magazines rank highest in trust by boomer and senior consumers, email and online media rank the lowest. Overall, 26% of consumers say that direct mail is more trustworthy than email or social media. I actually, even as a Generation X guy, would agree with that as well. However, that number nearly doubles with boomers and seniors. So you've got 52% of seniors say that direct mail is more trustworthy. The least trustworthy media channels are social media and blogs, achieving only 6% trust among U.S. consumers and even less with boomers and seniors. 50% of U.S. consumers say they pay more attention to direct mail than they do to email, and that percentage climbs above 70% with leading edge boomers and seniors. 60% of U.S. consumers say they enjoy checking the mailbox for mail every day, and they like receiving and opening mail, including mail about products and services of interest. This number climbs to by another 10% with boomers and seniors. And I challenge you with this. Go to any assisted living around 11:30, and you will see a room full of people in the lobby waiting for that postal worker to show up to put mail in their mailbox. 98% of consumers retrieve their mail from the mailbox the day it is delivered, and 77% sort through it the same day. I don't know about you, but I get the mail every day and go through every piece. And I actually also have to look through that. Usually get a paper that has coupons and things like that. I just want to make sure that some of the mail isn't stuck in there as well. Epsilon found that people had a heightened emotional connection with direct mail. Another study at Bangor University, using neuroscience to understand the role of direct mail, concluded that tangible materials such as direct mail pieces trigger a much deeper level of emotional processing and generate more activity in the area of the brain associated with the integration of visual and spatial information than any other media. I would point out that selling to boomers and seniors is very much about an emotional connection. Especially, we are in a very high-touch industry in which you have to gain trust in order to provide care for senior in their private residence. Privacy is stated as an important benefit of receiving information by mail rather than via email or social media, cited by 37% of consumers, and again, this percentage rises to nearly 50% with boomers and seniors, and is also higher with product and service information with key categories such as health and financial matters. There's also a strong preference for personally addressed mail in certain categories, which would include financial services and insurance. And in my case, I would say in the home care industry, 31% specifically cite giving more attention and consideration to personally addressed mail. The mandate for successfully doing business with boomers and seniors is to effectively use print media and use a lot of it. Failure to do so puts you at odds with the communication media that they prefer, that they value, and that they pay most attention to, and that they view with the most respect. Here's just a little, some brief snippets from the Direct Marketing Association. Print ad isn't dead. Got a little typo there. In 2015, more than 150 million direct mail promotions were sent in the U.S. In 2016, the response rates for direct mail were 3.7% for house lists and 2.9% for prospects lists, Oversized mailers had a 4.25% response rate. From 2015 to 2060, direct response rates increased by 43%. In 2015, 2.5 billion coupons were redeemed. In 2016, response rates for people between 18 and 21 doubled. Message retention is 75% for direct mail and only 44% for digital ads. Wow, that's huge. So are you a part of the 33% who find direct mail the most effective way to remember a product? How about the 79% of consumers who will act on direct mail immediately? Now, when I say act, that could mean acting, then going to the internet and ordering. Okay, so an example, the Amazon direct mail piece, that's directing me to go online to then do something. Or maybe you're part of the 74% of consumers who can't wait to find out what's in their letterbox. Now here's an interesting one by this Connor Blakely, who's a part of the Generation Z. I mean, he's in his early 20s. He even says, he even likes direct mail. He says it's underrated. It hits home for us because we don't get a lot of it. Write letters to us because we'll respond to them. And this is the generation that's the Twitter and the social media and Instagram world. I mean, their faces in their phone all day long, just like my kids are. So, is that enough proof that direct mail is king for us home care agency owners, and that you should be using it in your marketing, which we will help you and guide you through by giving you done-for-you pieces, telling you when to send it out, and things like that. Thanks for listening.